Plaintiff Rodney Hadley was neighbors with the defendant, and after the defendant was up all night doing cocaine, he discovered his girlfriend cheated with his best friend. Rodney says once the defendant assaulted his best friend with a golf club, he pushed Rodney, and he's suing for restitution. Defendant Paul Tatalovich says the pathways in the condominium complex are very narrow, and he only pushed Rodney after Rodney bumped him with his shoulder. Paul says he did not push Rodney with malicious intent and insists he's in compliance with the restitution order.
Start with you.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is probably, in my biased and unsolicited opinion, possibly the easiest case you'll have today.
All right.
Well, my opinion anyway. Essentially what happened, Your Honor, I was on my way about 7 o'clock in the morning to get my mail. I got home late the previous evening.
When? What month or year?
This was in August 2010.
All right.
So what happened was I was on my way to the mailroom to get my mail. It was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was going to go on with my day. And what happened was I encountered the defendant, Mr. Tatalovich, and as I was walking on the sidewalk, he was coming towards me, and without any warning or provocation on my part, he violently knocked me off of the sidewalk into a housing for an air conditioning unit. And when I struck it, I landed on my back, and my left elbow caught it's the upper right corner of the grating, and I've got photos.
Let's see. Why did he do that? Give me a little more background. Where do you know him from, and what is your association with him?
Unfortunately, I'd never met him before.
Pardon?
I had never met him before. He lived in the condominium complex, but I'd never encountered him before and didn't even know who he was.
All right. So when this occurred, were you able to speak with him?
What happened was I was so stunned and shocked by what happened, it took me a few seconds to kind of, get my wits about.
Gather yourself. Well, what happened once you gathered yourself?
Well, once
I bad bruise on your arm.
What happened was I got up and followed him to where he was living and identified what unit he was living in the complex, and then I contacted the police. And it was just one of those things.
But have you ever gotten a chance to ask him why he did it?
I never did talk to him about it.
Well, he's here today.
Well, what happened, I did encounter him. He had gone into his condo unit, he changed his shirt, and then came back out again. I don't know
why he assaulted and battered you.
Your Honor, he told me
there you go, so you did talk with him. Go ahead.
Okay. What happened was he said that I had bumped him on his shoulder, and he said that can be seen as an act of aggression. That's why he pushed me. And the reality is I wasn't even close to him. And if I had bumped him, then he would have probably have attacked me from behind, not from the front. So that's what he told me, was that I had bumped him, which was wrong. I never got close to the man.
Sir?
I disagree. What had happened is our pathways are very, very narrow. And he hit me with his shoulder, and I gave him a little push. And if you look at the pictures closely, there's about knee-high shrubbery around. I believe it was not with malicious intent, meant to give him a little push, like that's very rude, and meant to give him a little push, and he tripped over this.
That is malicious. When you say, I'm doing it because I believe you're being rude, you're saying, I'm going to get you back.
But he touched me first.
Yeah, but that was accidental. That wasn't intentional. Your act was intentional.
Was just my act of touching him.
Let's back up.
Okay,
where do you know the man from? Or is this some type of a super macho thing? Have you all been to prison? This is the type of stuff they do.
No.
This is the type of stuff well, you're headed there. Somebody is. This is the type of stuff they do in prison. Walk around all macho and tough and
the sidewalk's not big enough for both.
Right, yeah. Look at each other. And if you look at each other, you grim at me. Once you looking at me all grim. You can't even look at each other in the eye and you're ready to fight, step on each other's shoes and bump into each other. You're certainly likely to get knocked down. Why did you?
My intent was just...
All right, so once he landed,
sure.
What did you do?
Keep walking. That's what I did.
This is just so silly.
That's not my recollection, Your Honor. He took off on a jog. He knew what he'd done to me, and as a consequence, he wanted to get out of there. So it showed a clear consciousness of guilt that he'd hurt someone, and I tracked him down to the unit he was living in, and it was clear that he was drunk. I could smell alcohol in his breath, and he said I had bumped him, and that could be seen as an act of aggression. And if, in fact, I had actually bumped him, I would have apologized. Please excuse me. I'm sorry I bumped into you.
Why did you
My intent was just
All right, so once he landed,
sure,
what did you do?
keep walking. That's what I did.
This is just so silly.
Plaintiff Rodney Hadley says after the defendant discovered his girlfriend had cheated with his best friend, he assaulted his friend with a golf club and then violently pushed Rodney for no reason at all.
And you're suing for restitution. How so?
He pled guilty to misdemeanor battery in the criminal court, and
He was the only one charged, obviously.
Yes, sir. And the reality was, to help the court understand the full picture here, it's in the probation report, and I can provide that to Your Honor if you would like. He had just come from attacking a friend of his. So I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. What happened was he had stayed up all night drinking, doing cocaine, partying with...
How do you know all that?
It's in the probation report, Your Honor.
That I don't believe. I've never seen any
Go ahead.
evidence to that.
Well,
Let me see that report.
It's right here, Your Honor.
You fool enough to tell a court officer looking into your background that you were high off cocaine that night. Go ahead.
And what happened was, this is where the story really gets interesting, and this helps the court, I think, understand what happened. He was partying with his best friend and a former girlfriend of his. And at about 4 o'clock in the morning, the best friend leaves to go home, go to bed. And the former girlfriend hangs around and lets slip that she and the best friend hooked up while the defendant was out of town. And in his emotional state, he's drunk, he's high.
How do you slip up and say that?
I don't know how that happens,
Go
but
ahead.
in any event, it's in the probation report.
You and your friend were sleeping together while you were out of town. Oh! That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
That's exactly how it happened.
All right. Go
She may have
ahead.
been drunk too, for all I know, Your
Go
Honor.
ahead.
So in any event, I think what happened was and the probation report indicates that he was going to go talk to his best friend and kind of find out, why did you betray my trust? And apparently his emotions got the better of him, and he grabbed a golf club, and I don't know whether it was in the best friend's home or if he had it with him, but he broke into the friend's home and started beating him with the golf club in his bed. And the best friend's cries for help awoke a roommate, who then called the police, and that's when the defendant fled. And he had just got back to the condo complex at the time that I encountered him on the sidewalk.
Well, that sounds accidental too. The man was too drunk to stand up straight. He didn't mean to bump you. Or he didn't mean to push you. He was drunk and high. No, you wouldn't do that. Cocaine, you'd have been... Because you certainly told the officer says he claimed that he used cocaine and drank alcohol. All right, sir. You want to respond to this jumping on your buddy for cheating with your girlfriend?
Sure. That was obviously a mistake.
What part?
All of it?
Bumping him, your girlfriend cheating on you, jumping on your friend, which you did a lot of stuff here.
Yes, I did.
What part was a mistake?
Well, obviously the drinking was the mistake in the beginning of the evening.
It's all right to take a blow now. That's what you're saying. That's the most legal thing you did, is consume too much alcohol. Nonetheless, sir, I see the court ordered restitution. And what's your defense against not paying the restitution?
I am in compliance currently. I have a letter from my attorney.
Let's see it. And compliance meaning there was a payment plan?
Correct, and that I am paid current.
Sir, is that true?
To my knowledge, Your Honor, there are no other funds for him to disperse. The reason I brought the action, Your Honor, was...
So this isn't restitution enforcement?
Yes, it is. I brought the lawsuit to protect my rights. The statute of limitations was about to run, and rather than have that statutory period run and then he gets to his 3-year probationary period and quits paying, I did that to protect my own rights.
That's not how the law goes.
Well, it's probably...
You better go with me enforcing this restitution order
Yes, sir.
the judge made. The judge ordered him to pay restitution, and he says he's paying it on schedule. Your request today is to enforce it in full, I suppose, but he has to have breached the judge's order. How can you show me you're current? Again, this is your lawyer saying it. I need something from the judge. Your lawyer doesn't always tell the truth.
We both have contacted the recovery department that does this, and they are very late with the payments getting to Mr. Hatley, to the plaintiff.
So it's them now.
And they are in arrears, I guess, several months at this point. I am current. My payments are current, but they're...
They who?
The San Diego Recovery.
And that's who you've made your payments to.
Correct. I make it directly to the court.
You say you've made them on time.
I have not made all my payments on time. I have not. I have not.
And Your Honor,
We went through all this, and that was the premise. You said, Your Honor, I'm right up to date. I'm complying with the court's order. And after we go through all of this, then you say, well, Your Honor, I'm not quite full up to date. I haven't paid all of it.
Plaintiff Rodney Hatley says after the defendant discovered his girlfriend had cheated with his best friend, he assaulted his friend with a golf club and then violently pushed Rodney for no reason at all.
I'm going to enforce the balance of the restitution order. All I can do is enforce the order of the judge. Whenever there is an agreement or an order by the court that includes a payment plan, once you breach that payment plan, that order can be enforced immediately, because you've broken the agreement. If you had indeed, as you claimed, had paid in a timely manner and weren't behind at all, never missed, never late, then no, you wouldn't have been able to enforce it, but you breached it. So I'm going to enforce the balance of the restitution order. $4,761 is the judgment.
Sorry for the incident, and hopefully this will be able to go on with our lives after this.
I'm just thankful that the court is going to award the restitution. I understand that he's going on with his life. He's putting his life back together, and I'm thrilled to hear that. So I'm thankful that we were able to have a happy resolution all the way around.